तेरे जाने का असर कुछ ऐसा हुआ मुझ पर, तुझे ढूंढता ढूंढता मैं खुद को पा लिया. I remember the date well, 4th March 2006. I was in Kolkata and about to reach Happy's home. I had been very excited all morning as I was going to see our gang of four after 3 years. After our engineering, this was the first time when all of us, Manpreet, Amardeep, Happy, and I, were going to be together. During our first year in the hostel, Happy and I were in the different room on the same floor of the Block A building. Being on the same floor, we were acquaintances, but I never wanted to interact with him. I didn't think him to be a good guy because of his fondness of white and the red on his mark sheet. But unfortunately, I was late in getting back to the hostel at the beginning of the second year, and almost all the rooms were already allotted by then. I was not left with any other choice than becoming Happy's roommate. And because life is weird, things changed dramatically, and soon we became the best buddies. The day our reunion was scheduled, he had been working with TCS for 2 years and was enjoying his on-site project in London. Happy was blessed with a height of 6 feet and 1, a good physique and stunning looks. And Happy was always happy. Manpreet or MP, as we called him, short-statured, fair, and healthy. The reason I use the word healthy is because he will kill me if I use the proper word fat for him. He was the first among us to get a computer in the hostel, and his machine was home to countless computer games. In fact, this was the very reason Happy and I wanted to be friends with him. MP was quite studious. He had even cracked the Maths Olympiad in his school days and was always boasting about it. His native place was Mordinagar, but at the time of this reunion, he was working with Oakwen in Bangalore. Amardeep has been baptized Ramji by MP. I don't know when he got his weird nickname or why, but it was probably because of his simple, sober nature. Unlike the rest of us at the hostel, he was not at all a night person. His room's lights would go off precisely at 11 pm. At times, MP, Happy, and I used to stand outside his room and few seconds before 11 and begin to count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Ramji has gone down. The only mysterious thing about Amardeep was that he used to go somewhere on his bicycle every Sunday. He never told us where he went. Whenever we tried to follow him, somehow he would know and would digress from his path to shake us off. Even today, none of us knows anything about it. The best thing about the guy, though, his simplicity, and very importantly, he was the topper in the final semester of our engineering batch. He made our group shine. He belonged to Bareilly and was working with Evaluator when he, along with MP, flew to Kolkata for the reunion. After college, all of us were very pretty much involved in our stereotypical lives. One day, we find out that Happy was coming back from London for 2 weeks. Everybody was came for a reunion. Happy's place in Kolkata, 4th March 2006. We decided, finally, on the scheduled date, I was climbing the stairs to Happy's apartment. 2 steps at the time. It was about 12:30 in the afternoon when I knocked on his door. His mom opened it and welcomed me in. As I had often been there, she knew me well. For me, Happy's house never meant too many formalities. I was having some water when she told me that Happy was not at home and his cell was switched off. Wow! He asked me not to be late. I murmured to myself. A little later, there was another knock on the door. I got up from a chair to open it, as Happy's mom was in the kitchen. I pulled it open to shouts of, "Oh, bruh, dude, yeah!" Oh, no, it wasn't Happy. Me and Amardeep has arrived. Seeing your college friends after 3 years is so crazy and exciting that you don't even realize you are at someone else's place where you should show some manners and be polite. Then again, the very purpose of this reunion was to recall our college days, and this was the perfect start. While we made ourselves comfortable on the sofas in the drawing room, MP asked about Happy's whereabouts. He's not on time in his own home, I said, looking at MP, and he was laughing again. For the next half or so, three of us talked, laughed, and made fun of us each other while eating lunch made by Happy's mother. Yes, we started our meal without Happy. This might not sound decent, but we had genuine reason. Nobody could predict his arrival, so there was no point in waiting. A little later, there was another knock. Happy's mom opened the door. "Happy Veer!" MP shouted, getting up from the inner chair. Amardeep and I stared at each other. It seems as if MP was going to shed tears as he hugged Happy. We remember how these guys used to cry during their long boozing sessions, when their brains switched off and their hearts started speaking. Amardeep and I used to enjoy our coke while seeing them getting senti. We all stood up to hug him, and as soon as that was done, we continued our lunch. Happy also joined us. The food that day was very tasty, or maybe it was just because we were having lunch together after so long, and that made it special. After lunch, we moved to another flat a few floors above in the same building. This was the second flat which Happy's family owned and was meant for relatives and friends like us. We were laughing at one of MP's jokes while moving in, and we are probably still laughing as we fell on the giant couch in the drawing room, upside down, legs on the couch and our torsos on the floor, arms spread across and facing the ceiling. We made ourselves comfortable. Nobody said anything for a few moments, and when it started again with Happy's big laugh, I guess he remembers some incident involving Ramji. That evening, the four of us in that flat were having an amazing time, talking about our past and present, about not so good looking girls in college, about the porn we used to watch on our computer, about our experience abroad and many other things. So which one did you like more, Europe or the States? Happy asked me, getting up. Europe, I replied, still lying down and looking at the ceiling. Why? Amardeep asked. He always needed to find out the reasons behind everything, though he never gave any reason for not telling us where he went every Sunday during our hostel days. Europe has a history. The language changes when you leave one country and move to another. The food, the art, the architecture, fabulous public transport, beauty, everything is just wonderful in Europe, I tried to explain. You did not see all this in US? Something like public transport are not good in comparison to Europe. You and your car are the only options in most of the states. New York being an exception, you won't hear as many languages as you get to hear in Europe. I mean, the US is damn advanced, but still, I would prefer Europe to the States. Amardeep nodded, and this meant his question had ended. This is the best thing about IT jobs, Amardeep. We get to visit different places, which we never dreamed of during our college days. MP said to Amardeep. After college, MP, happy, and I don't remember which one of us fall asleep first that afternoon. Wake up, you asses! It's already 6:30. Someone was struggling to get us out from our utopia of dreams. In the hostel, Amardeep was the first among us to wake up, and of course, the only one to wake up us. So we know that it was our early morning, Amardeep. Still, how can somebody thumping your door to get you out of bed be pleasant? Human beings have such a weird nature. While asleep, we hate the person who is trying to wake us up, but once we are awake, we tend to love that same person because he did the right thing. As usual, Amardeep was successful in his endeavor. It was 7 in the evening. This was the first time Amardeep and MP had come to the city. So we decided to explore the streets of Kolkata. Fortunately, our host possessed a bike, his own Pulsar and his younger brother's Splendor. We got ready and pulled out the bikes from the garage. MP and I got on the Splendor, Happy and Amardeep on the Pulsar. We crossed the river Hooghly over the Vidyasagar Setu. Speed breakers couldn't break our speed that evening. And where were we? One cold number 9. Being with your best buddies after such a long time is at once sentimental and thrilling. We went to the Victoria Memorial and few other places. At time we got down to have some fruit juice. At time we halted to enjoy Kolkata's famous snacks and sweets. At time we got down because one of us wanted to pee, which initiated a chain reaction among us. We were at some place enjoying iced tea in an earthen cup when MP asked, "When do we need to go back home?" "It's already 10:30. "No worries, I have the keys for the flat upstairs. We can go anytime we want. Hopefully, we will not move in before 1. Happy said, finishing his iced tea down to the last drop. And where are we going to be till then? Amardeep was concerned. Amardeep and his 11 p.m. sleeping time. I remember, but didn't bring it to others. Notice, Happy looked at me and asked with a smile, "Shall we go to the same place?" "Oh, that one." Before MP's dirty brain cells could start thinking something filthy, I tried to clear the picture. "Gentlemen, we're going to a very cool place now, and I bet both of you will find it." I was trying to finish up when MP became impatient and cut me off. "Oh yes, I heard that. Chandramukhi was from West Bengal. So we are guys planning to hit with a smile and naughty eyes completed the question." "You're nuts," Happy said, laughing. "Don't you think too much. MP, just follow us," I added. Without revealing any more, we were back to our bikes, driving to our destination. It wasn't yet midnight when we reached the place. The air was a little cooler. At the first glance, it looks like a slum. There was a rundown garage, which was shattered. Some trucks were parked outside. Their drivers were probably sleeping. We parked our bikes beside one of the trucks and walked through a small street to the right of the garage. The place was badly lit and utterly silent. Our voice and footsteps rang out loudly. The sound of insects added to the earrings of the place. MP heard a pack of dogs barking somewhere nearby. I don't know if he really heard that, though maybe it was just his poor heartbeat beating loudly. "Shh, they will wake up," said Happy, with a finger on his lips. "Who?" Amardeep whispered. "There are people sleeping on the ground ahead. Watch your step," Happy said. "People sleeping on the road." Amardeep slowed down. They were local fishermen. Some were sleeping and some were hangover from homemade liquor. Suddenly, the street ended in a wooden channel. This was a staircase-like structure going down, and we could hear a dull sound like that of water being against a sword. We rapped on this channel, leaving behind the insect sound. In a few seconds, we were at our destination. It was River Kohugli, and we were standing at its bay. Amardeep and MP. Fear turned into delight. "This is the launch ghat, and right now we are in Howrah. This is the point from where the ferry takes you to other side, Kolkata city," Happy announced, pointing across the river. In our excitement, we jumped into the wooden harbor-like structure. From the channel surrounding this harbor on three sides was the river in its perfect velocity. It was a beautiful night, with the moon overhead and the stars shining bright. And beneath the sky, the four of us. We sat down beside one of the giant anchors in a corner of the harbor. The river reached against the cool breeze, to meet the Bay of Bengal. In the silence, the sound of water hitting the harbor was crystal clear. One of the other side of river was Kolkata. The tall buildings and the chain of tiny yellow light remind me of New York skyline. But this was much better just because I was with my friends now. With our arms wide open, we breathe deep and long, inhaling the fresh, chill air, still intoxicated by the beauty of this place. This was when Happy shook up. So, he asked, looking at Amardeep. What? Amardeep asked in return, not understanding Happy's. So, so how's the place, damn it? Oh, this place. I cannot think of a better place than this. This is heaven. And then again, a cool breeze blew, embracing us. We lay down on the harbor. That was when the discussion started. A serious discussion. A discussion that changed my life. It started with another so. So, Amardeep asked this time, looking at Happy. What? Happy asked, raising his chin. What's the next important thing? Amardeep asked. You mean dinner? MP jumped in. No, I mean the next important thing in life. Schooling done. Engineering done. Getting a good job done. Going abroad done. Bank balance in process. What's the next milestone? Ah, I know what you are talking about. Happy nodded. Asked him. He said, pointing his already raising chin towards me. Everyone look at me. I don't know what's going on in your life and family, but my mom and dad are going crazy. They are after me like you wouldn't believe. Don't I make a good bachelor? I say. The story is same everywhere. We poor bachelor. MP said, trying to be funny. I am serious, MP, Amardeep said. So, have you or your family fixed something? I asked him. No, my story is just like yours. The fact is that one day we will have to settle down with a life partner. How long we can ignore our parents' question? They too have expectations, wishes, and dreams for us. I know what you mean, Amardeep, but are you really ready to spend your whole life with someone? I mean, in our 4 years at the hostel, we were so many times when we had to adjust with each other. This one will be for a lifetime, Happy said. But sooner or later, we have to do this, right? Amardeep asked. What if we just carry on the way we are? MP said. Then imagine yourself at the age of 60, living alone. Life isn't that easy, my friend. It's a journey, and the best way to complete it is with a life partner, Amardeep said. The night on the bank of the river, the four of us discussing this issue seriously. For the first time, maybe it was the first time we felt we were mature enough to talk about it. So many questions, ifs and buts, were raised and answered between us. So many views were brought in and debated. None of us were against marriage, but we want to evaluate its benefits. Amardeep and I were quite convinced about the marriage thing, and this discussion made Happy and MP think about the matter quite seriously. Even it didn't convince him, which reminds me of a slogan I read on a t-shirt. If you can't convince her, just confuse her. But then other things come into the picture. Love marriage or arranged marriage? Parents' choice or ours? Happy said. Now that's a personal choice. But given that we are impedant, I don't think our parents will be object to our decision, Amardeep said. Happy kept mum's hearing this. But Amardeep, look at our lives. All of our North Indians working in faraway states. The chances of finding a soulmate in the case is quite slim. Moreover, the kind of jobs we have don't give us the time interact with different people, and above all, none of us would like to marry a girl chosen by our parents. If I'm not wrong, MP said. I don't know if your last statement is valid or not, but the rest is in your hands. Amardeep replied, but MP has a point in my case. I would like to marry a girl of my choice, but for the last 1 year I was abroad, and I don't know if in the next couple of years I will be in India. Given this fact, it is quite hard for me to work on my marriage plan, and for a person like me, it's impossible to settle down with any girl who is not Indian. Forget Indian, she has to be a Punjabi. First of all, I say, how do you apply for your job at Infosys? Amardeep asked. Digressing from the topic, I answered, through some job website. And Happy, how did you transfer money from London to your parents? Through internet banking account. It's quite fast, he answered. See, the world is becoming internet savvy, and given the fact that we all are IT graduates who are on the net almost every day, why can't we use this for the marriage thing too? Are you talking about matrimonial website like shadi.com? Happy asked. Yes. Are they really useful? I don't think so. MP put forward his views. To know if a dish is sweet or salty, you have to taste it first. That's the only way to know things for sure, Amardeep answered. Or better yet, ask a person who has already tasted it. Why take a chance? Happy said. Try to make us laugh. So Ramji, are you on any such website? I asked. Not yet, but I'm thinking of it. End of part 1.